And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, we cover the Oscars. That's right. Who won? Who lost? Who got snubbed? What surprises there were? And everything surrounding the actual ceremony itself. We cover it all for you on the Oscars with our Oscars post-game recap, so to speak. Plus, also, as well, we talk about the big success story of Taylor Sheridan and his Yellowstone universe. Plus, also, of course, the coming out of the big game this week, the big video game, Crimson Desert. Can it really become a big hit for the rest of the year? I think a lot of signs are pointing to it being a big hit. So go ahead and check out our thoughts on that and more right there for you at the Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts. And also, as well, of course, it's going to be on a delayed fashion for you guys that are watching it on YouTube on the Lakers Fast Break. Unless you're a member, you can see it right now on the Lakers Fast Break channel and also on the Pop Culture Cosmos channel as well, right there for you indeed. But also, as well, of course, I host the Lakers Latest, giving you your morning sample of what's going on with the latest for the Lakers. And of course, tomorrow's Lakers Latest is going to be very positive by what happened tonight. So go ahead and check it out today, part of the Fan Arc Network. So go ahead and check out what's going on at Lakers Latest right on there on YouTube. Plus, also as well, don't forget, make sure you like and subscribe. Subscribe to this channel and also to my friend Drip Show at Drip Show Shop, because he and I, courtesy of El Rosto, Drip Show, and of course the Lakers Fast Break, we're going to be giving away one of these skate decks for a viewer in the continental United States. So go ahead and make sure you subscribe today, and also as well, go ahead and be a follower of everything going on at Drip Show Shop. And even if you don't win, you can reach out to at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter or your social media to go ahead and get one of these as well. Say, hey, I saw that on the LFB. I really want one of those skate decks. Can I get one of those skate decks? Please, 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 please. How do I get one of those skate decks? So go ahead and reach out to my main man at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. We're feeling good, Vern. We're feeling good after one of the first 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes of far that fourth quarter where it was terrible. But I thought that the announcer on NBC put the Downhausen curse on the Lakers by saying they were 31-1 with the lead heading into the fourth quarter. I thought that was like, the way they started out, only scoring 4 points in the fourth quarter for the first 8.5 minutes. It's getting kind of worried there, but they did snap out of it, and I'll go ahead and explain that in my little recap here in a second. But great to have you guys here today. Yes, Nick T, I do want to give a credit to JJ Redick because, and I'll explain why here in a little bit right here on the Lakers Fast Break. But also one quick mention as well, my good friend DBSH, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Also as well, of course, the Joe Soro experiment. Joe will not be here tonight. He has decided to take the evening off. So go ahead and make sure you check on by the Joe Soro experiment right there for you, and check out his latest grumblings right there at the Joe Soro experiment indeed. But yes, the Lakers headed into tonight, key matchup. Although you couldn't really tell in the building. I mean, the building had obviously had a lot of people in it, of course, it was pretty well occupied, but just didn't feel. I mean, on Saturday against Denver, I felt the energy from the crowd. I mean, Los Angeles always gets a bum rap as far as the crowd. They get up for the important games, and they really just felt the intensity in that game on Saturday. They played hard today. They absolutely played hard. Both teams did, especially in the fourth quarter where the defense was at a premium. Players were tired, working hard on both ends of the court. But I just didn't feel it from the fans. I don't know about, maybe it's the fact they didn't have it very well mic'd up or whatnot. Just did not feel it from the Houston base out there. Maybe that'll change on Wednesday's game. But heading into today, battle for third place in the Western Conference with the Lakers in their first game of 2 games in the Houston Rockets area to match up against the Houston Rockets. No Alperen Sengun tonight. How would that go? And for the first 3.5 quarters, Clint Capella was getting DeAndre Ayton's number, Mr. Clint Capella of the Lakers. So that did not get lost on me, everyone, as far as who is winning the matchup for 3.5 quarters. I'll just leave it at that. But the Lakers got off to an early lead, gave it up in the second quarter. Kevin Durant got hot, 16 points in that first half. Luka Doncic also was hot with him for himself, 21 in the first half himself. Absolutely great performances on the offensive end by both. And it was 57-51 Houston at the end of the first half. The third quarter, Lakers went down by double digits, started to look a little bit concerning, but about 5 minutes left in the third quarter. The Lakers went on a run and went on a run indeed and looked really good in doing so. Went on a run, took over the lead in that third quarter. And again, the NBC announcer I thought was going to do the Danhausen thing. You're cursed because he said going into the fourth quarter, the Lakers are 31-1 going into the fourth quarter with a lead if they have the lead. So yeah, what would happen? Well, the Lakers made their first basket and did virtually nothing else for the first 8 minutes of the fourth quarter as they bricked every single shot. Houston wasn't a whole lot better. Houston, they gave the Lakers every opportunity to pad their lead, and they didn't. And the Lakers, conversely, gave them every opportunity to take over the lead, and they didn't. So back and forth, the futility they went. At one time, with about 8 minutes left, it was 8-4 for the scoring in the fourth quarter. Absolutely abysmal shooting. Yes, there was an attention to defense. Let's go ahead and take no two bones about it. Yeah, there was defensive intensity from both of these teams on both ends, but still the futility you could see, even open looks were being missed at that time. But again, the Lakers finally snapped out of it, executing down the stretch. Marcus Smart with a key three, and DeAndre Ayton obviously must have heard the Clint Capella thing at some point in time because he, just like he did the other day, couldn't figure it out for 3 or 4 quarters for most of the game, but decided to show up at the very end with two crucial baskets, two key baskets for the Lakers that propelled them and got them the much needed distance they needed. And they pull away at the very end for the victory. Not exactly the best or as most aesthetic fourth quarter. They outscored Houston 17-12. Let me reiterate, with less than 4 minutes left, they had only scored 4 points. So they scored 13 points in a matter of about less than 4 minutes there. So the Lakers do get the victory and they remain in third place and they could solidify the tiebreaker over Houston with a victory on Wednesday, 100-92, a gritty victory. If any game that you could call a gritty victory, I think it's this one because again, they had to slug it out in that fourth quarter. They implemented in that second half after Kevin Durant got off to such a hot start, and the fact that no Alperen Sengun was there to be another key ball handler for them. They went to a double teaming defense against Kevin Durant in that second half, and they stuck to it. And he actually score? Yeah, he scored 2 points at the very end in that second half. But for most of the second half, he had zero. The Lakers tried everything they could to get the ball out of his hands, to force him into making mistakes, turnovers. He had 7 turnovers. The Lakers, even though they got killed on the offensive glass by the best offensive rebounding team in the league, still found ways to win. Yes, they did have the advantage at the free throw line. They are 18-22, 82%, compared to 11-15 for the Houston Rockets. Offensive rebounds, 15-12. Second chance points was in the favor of Houston as well, but still the Lakers were able to overcome that and get the victory tonight, 100-92. Source says really restricted that Rockets skinny 7-footer. Indeed. JY says, great win. Pull off the next win. The Lakers have the tiebreaker, like I said, over Houston, Denver, and Minnesota. Where'd Mark go? I don't know, El Roaster. Sorry I was not on Discord tonight. Apologies. I was actually just wanted to watch it on the screen behind me, a little bit larger screen tonight, and just to watch and enjoy it there. I always like watching with you guys, but sometimes on watching on the computer screen, something that sometimes I just wanted a little bit larger experience. So I'll be there on Wednesday to hopefully kick it with you guys there. Vando did not play tonight. Vando did not play tonight. I know that a lot of people were asking about that on social media, but yes, he was a DMP coach's decision, Nick. So yes, again, the Lakers a gritty victory, 192. The Ox. Oh, Joe is in the chat. Again, we'll see what happens. John Costa hopefully will join us here in a few minutes. Also, will hopefully Legend will as well. Maybe another guest indeed will be able to stomp on by. We'll see what happens. But again, truly great. That's why they won. Joe says Vando did not play at all, and that's why they won. JY says, tell Aiton he was Capella 2.9 tonight. Great job, G. Yeah. Again, for 3.5 quarters, Capella was getting the advantage on it. So I will say that for 3.5 quarters, dominating wasn't dominating, but I am glad to see that finally he woke up with about 3 minutes left and decided to go ahead and contribute. Got a lob, got a put back, really got it done. In fact, the first basket in quite some time in that fourth quarter was actually a basket interference and it even didn't go in for the Lakers, but that was on a tip in by DeAndre Ayton. But that got things rolling for the Lakers, and they were able to finish out strong with the victory, 100-92. Ayton closed the last two. Yes, he did. Let's bring him in there for the last 5 minutes. How about that? Yeah, because the first 40 minutes were not exactly the greatest of things for him. But again, got it done when it counted, and there you go. Once again, the Lakers do win 100-92. Yes, we need your commentary. It's up to you guys. You want to go ahead and stop on by? I sent these guys out the link, so go ahead and stop on by if you can. It is Gerald Glasser. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate you doing so. If you guys don't want to, I'm glad to go ahead and talk with you guys for the next hour or so. So we'll see what happens. Again, truly great to have you guys here. But I expect as soon as John is finished with his 3-minute report on Lakers Corner, he'll stop on by as well. Nick T says, I still don't like Luka taking over 10 threes. He has an underrated post game. Why not use it more? He did at times use his post up game against Thompson. Again, they were providing some really good. They have athleticism. If Thompson's athleticism is unreal, absolutely, just the way that guy can sky is just absolutely unreal. Just absolutely, just almost mystical, because to see how high he can get up on those lobs and to see him playing defense on Luka, you could see it bothering a little when he tried to post up, but Luka did. But I can understand in a day where the Lakers were struggling from three, and really they had a bad game from three, 24% from behind the arc. Not a good sign for the Lakers when they're shooting like that, but they were able to get the victory by causing turnovers. They forced I think 20 turnovers if I'm not mistaken, I guess 22 turnovers. That I think is a key to the victory for the Lakers, and the way that JJ, give him credit. I blame him when he does wrong, but when he does things right, you have to give him credit. And implementing a double team every single time on Kevin Durant to force him to become a playmaker, to force the ball out of his hands, was a key to the game. It was a key to getting the Lakers back into the game after they went down 10 in that third quarter, and they stuck to it and were able to go ahead and neutralize Kevin Durant in that second half. And you got to say that's a great sign for the Lakers that they went to go ahead and did that. A victory for the Lakers on Wednesday is needed. Yeah, it's absolutely, Vern. So you can establish the tiebreaker over them, because they have the tiebreaker on Denver. They have the tiebreaker on Minnesota. We will see what happens. We'll see if Sengun comes back, because he had some back issues there. So we'll wait and see what's going on. But the Lakers do win 109-92. This was 90s basketball tonight. It wasn't pretty. That fourth quarter was not pretty at all. No one's saying it is because, again, the Lakers only had 4 points and Houston only had 8 for the first 8 minutes of that fourth quarter. It was ugly, absolutely ugly. And they were playing hard on defense on both ends, but they were getting open looks and just absolutely blowing them. So it was not pretty at all. But Silver said 40, 50, 90 while averaging 35 plus and a near triple double. So again, tonight for the Lakers, Luka Doncic, especially after that hot start. Nick T doesn't like the fact he shot 12 threes. But you know what? 14 to 27 overall, 36 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals for him. LeBron James, after a slow start, got it going in the third quarter. 18 points for him, 7 to 13, 18, 5 and 5, 2 steals for him. Austin Reeves, 4 steals for him. 0 of 8 from 3, 5 of 18 overall, but 15 points for him. And Marcus Smart playing key defense and helping out, really keying those double teams. 11 points from him, keying this Laker offense. DeAndre Ayton was 7 points and 11 rebounds. Again, you wouldn't know it by what you were seeing out there, but yes, the offensive rebounds were killing the Lakers at times during the course of the game. But when it mattered the most, he got some offensive rebounds. He got the putbacks. He got the points late in the game to go ahead and seal the deal for the Lakers, 192. They're now 43 and 25 on the season, still in third place in the Western Conference. But this gives them a little bit of a buffer in case they don't win on Wednesday. But still, I think if they could get the 2 here in Houston, it makes things a little bit easier because they do have the back-to-back in Miami on Thursday. That's just, again, that's a scheduled loss right there. That's I'm hoping it's not, of course, but when you do that, when you have the schedule go Houston to Miami, Midwest to East Coast like that, yeah, that in less than 24 hours, that's just not fair. That's just not fair. Isaac said AR 08 from deep. Yeah, not his day, not his day at all. But again, he was able to contribute, score inside on some of his drives, and the 4 steals did really help out the Lakers indeed. So absolutely good to see as well. Tough. So what's going on, man? Joe was with us for the whole Discord today. Yeah, great for Joe. Yes, he was there on the Discord. Again, I wanted to watch it on the big screen for once to see how it looks, or at least the screen behind me, and see how it looked there. So yes, it was actually a great game to go ahead and watch that on. And I'll be with you guys on the Discord on Wednesday as well. So Lakers have a break tomorrow. Yes, they can rest easy for a day, and then we go right back to it on Wednesday against the Houston Rockets. Joe, we need to sit players tomorrow. No, we don't need to sit players. Yes, Isaac, you're just teasing him. I get that. No worries indeed. But it is, of course, the Lakers winning 192. The Lakers are still 10 games out in the Western Conference, but now they have a game and a half buffer between them and Houston. So even if they lose on Wednesday, they will lose a tiebreaker, but they'll still be a half game in front if they lose. But if they win, they could be 2 full games in front, 2.5 games in front of the Houston Rockets in the Western Conference, which would really be beneficial with just over 10 games left in the season. So I absolutely would hope that that's going to be the case. So hopefully you guys will be able to go ahead and enjoy that on a Wednesday, but we'll see if the Lakers can get it done. Don't know if Alperen Sengun's situation with his back will be better by then, but we'll wait and see. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. 192 was the score for the Lakers. Also, as well, for you guys into March Madness, I do have a ESPN Tournament Challenge League. If you want to go ahead and pop on there, ESPN Tournament Challenge, I do have a group that started there, the Lakers Fast Break. It is available in the notes, the link that you can go ahead and check out right there for you. If you have your pool ready, your brackets ready, you could go ahead and hop on over to ESPN Tournament Challenge, look for the Lakers Fast Break group, and join up right there. JY says, tell the Lakers to stay out of the Chocolate City nightclub. I'm just stay focused, guys. Yes, the focus has to be there, JY, and which was kind of funny because earlier tonight was the Magic City, or was supposed to be the Magic City game between the Magic and Atlanta, two of the hottest teams in the NBA. One had won seven, one had won nine games straight, which was interesting to see. And then there was some testiness at the end of that game, but it was interesting to see the fact that it was just a game and not really just accentuated by the Magic City part of it, as Legend and I talked about on the NBA observations. Also, as well, speaking of NBA observations, Caleb Ponce and I recorded one earlier today. I've already got it up for our members. Go ahead and be able to stop on by because NBA observations for members is available after this show. And then you can go ahead for everyone else, check it out later this week. And here today to go ahead and discuss today's game is kind of a bummed member of our panel because he didn't get to experience Magic City night with Atlanta and Orlando tonight.
Not at all.
Not a, it is Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Legend, great to have you here, my friend. Um, it was not artistic at all in that fourth quarter, back and forth between the Lakers and Houston. There was an emphasis on defense, but there was also some futility as well because both teams had their open shots and just, quite frankly, just did not get it done. I was kind of disappointed. I said before you came on the show, I don't know if you were watching the NBC Sports Network feed, but I was just disappointed because these guys were playing hard on both ends of the floor, both these teams. I just didn't feel it from the crowd. I didn't hear it from the crowd. That excitement, like we saw on Saturday in that ABC game, Lakers and Denver. I don't know what you could attribute that to. Maybe it was the way the arena was mic'd up or whatnot, but I just didn't get that kind of feeling from Houston that they thought it was a playoff level like game as far as the crowd is concerned. The players sure thought it was, but the crowd did not.
Yeah, I never sure. I noticed that too. The crowd was a little quiet when I was listening to off this the. I wasn't watching. I wasn't finna pay for Peacock. Just listening to
Mhm.
off my phone was. I noticed you couldn't really hear too much of the crowd. Maybe the crowd just got that feeling of regular season, just waiting for the playoff to start type of feeling. But I think I heard somebody say it was kind of dead, and they're like, wasn't really nobody there like that. So, you know,
I don't know, it just did not seem to carry any volume, or people. The excitement wasn't there, or like there's no organ player or anything like that playing music. Go rock. Nothing. It didn't seem.
mm,
It just seemed like people were just watching, just there. They were all sitting in their seats. I was watching the crowd too. It just, I don't know. Again, that's fine. Makes it easier for the Lakers to go ahead and compete because they don't have to compete against that emotion from the crowd that the other team could feed off of. But you saw tonight the Lakers employ in that second half a double team constantly on Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant started out 16 points in that first half, was hitting a lot of his, just standard Kevin Durant like shots. But it shows some of the weaknesses in the Rockets game when they don't have Alperen Sengun in that lineup to help facilitate, to help play make. It seemed like that Houston, without Van Vliet as well to an extent, seemed kind of lost at times because the fact that they were Lakers were trying to constantly take in that second half Kevin Durant out of the play.
yeah, you can tell like they are missing Fred VanVleet badly right now. They really need a point guard to kind of take some of that pressure off of Kevin Durant and Reed running point guard. I mean, KD have to kind of score a lot because who else can you rely on when you ain't got Shengun out there? I mean, it's the best you got, and it makes it pretty easy to really kind of lock down KD. Well, they double team KD and make somebody else beat me. It's pretty easy to make the rest of them others beat you when they know Shengun out there. So that helps a lot. But also, I think another thing that's hurting Houston too. And I don't hear a lot of people bring it up. You missing Steven Adams too right now. That hurt. That's hurting badly. But Fred VanVleet, that's the biggest hurt, and I'm thinking that's what to me is overall was probably gonna kill this Houston Rocket team going into the playoff and probably in a first round exit. Just missing two major pieces and it's just hard to overcome and something that I think the Houston Rockets should have did when they had a chance during the trade time or even the buyout market is go get you some type of point guard to help take some pressure off you and get another scorer. But maybe they can address those issues in the off season. But right now it's just It's too difficult for this team. They have to struggle too hard to score. It shouldn't be KD or Bust at that point, and that's what it looks like when we sit here and watch it.
which is hard for him. I mean, because what, he's 37 years old, and you're asking him to do this, and he's still able to do it at a high level. But again, when the Lakers, JJ gets a lot of credit here. He gets a lot of bashing from us when it's deserved, but he also gets credit and his flowers when it's deserved as well. And he implemented that and stuck with it. And only a couple times did Houston really make it look easy to beat that double team. The Lakers, I don't know if they'll be successful or as successful on Wednesday if they try to throw that out there on Kevin Durant. But for tonight, for the most part, especially that got him back into the game in the third quarter, was that double teaming of Kevin Durant. It looks like it really confused and befuddled the Houston Rockets because it led to 22 turnovers on the Houston Rockets, which really helped the Lakers' cause tonight.
I think a lot of them turnovers too is kind of coming from not having a real point guard out there too, and I think that plays a big factor into that. But coming into that next game on Wednesday, I'm not for sure how well that double team will work. Now that you done seen it, most likely they're gonna probably come up with something to counter that. So JJ probably gonna have to go back into the lab and maybe come up with a different strategy to kind of go with the double teaming part. But honestly, that's probably how you should go into the next game too, though. Because the one thing that's not gonna change about the Rockets is KD gonna be the main scorer pretty much. And ain't gonna be nobody else unless Shingun's gonna come back on Wednesday or something. But one thing for sure, KD gonna be the main point of view for getting points. So double team might be the best thing to do starting off, but probably want to have a backup plan just in case they have a counter coming up for that. But the Rockets got a lot of things to figure out, and it's just not a lot of time, and don't think they can really fix it right now. The injuries have really took their season from them.
We've talked in recent days about the big three and how LeBron has taken a little bit of a back seat as a number three option. Today, first half didn't provide too much that stood out in any way, shape, or form. But in that third quarter, he did provide energy and a lift to the Lakers when they needed it most in that halfway through the third quarter, 5 minute mark going on. Your thoughts on that with LeBron now picking and choosing his spots? It's worked so far in the past three games, and it's made the Lakers more formidable as a team because of it.
That's something I'm gonna give LeBron a lot of credit on. I'm not a LeBron fan, never will be, but I'll give the man credit when it's due. And the dude is really stepped up as the third, taking that third person role, and he's really adapting to it and doing what's needed for the team. So I give him a lot of credit for that. Being somebody of his caliber, being a second greatest of all time, being someone who's pretty much the only one on the team with a ring, that's a lot of pride you got to really swallow, right? To do for the best for the team. But I give him a lot of credit for what he's doing right now, and it's working. The big three part, it looks a lot better. All three of them looking like they might can really coexist right now. Not for sure if you want to still go into next season with this. Not for sure about that part, but it looking like you can at least coexist and get through this season and get through the playoff and see how things play out. But right now, you got to give him a lot of credit. Because even for me, this would be something be hard for me to swallow my pride to a bunch of dudes who ain't got no ring. That's a lot of pride you got to really swallow.
I disagree with you, Nick T. He's finally accepted the the number three role in only recently and in recent games. It hasn't worked before because of what he has been doing, trying to play still a major role on this team, or at least an alpha role on this team previously. That's one part of the reasons why that big three wasn't as successful or their plus minus wasn't as good as it looked. He is now picking and choosing his spots on when he needs to go ahead and be more active on the offensive end. But I will give you credit, Nick. He is showing out a little bit more defensively. He's being more active on the defensive end. And Luca is being a little bit more active on the defensive end. I think the ramp up to the playoffs is beginning for this team, and they're starting to play on it. Luca tonight after the game mentioned that this felt like a playoff game on the court. It might not have sounded like it coming from the arena, but they felt like it on the court. So they're now facing these quality teams over the next few games. They're not facing any tomato cans for a while until they get to Indiana a week from Wednesday. For now, they're facing quality playoff teams. And for that, maybe the intensity is finally turned up for this team as well.
Yeah, they look like they're definitely getting ramped up for the playoff, and this looked like the Lakers team that I was expecting to finally see, and they finally look like they don't woke up. Look like a team that should get past the first round right now, and that's a lot of credit you got to give to his team, including JJ Redick, definitely stepping up and making a lot of improvements. I'm really interested in seeing exactly how JJ does in the playoff. That's to me gonna be the biggest storytelling for the whole thing. Is seeing what this team looks like in playoff time, because we all know regular season playoff two different animals, but they look like a playoff team right now. They look like they're ready. They gelling. Luka looking like an MVP candidate. Team looking a whole lot better compared to what a week and a half ago. Looking a whole lot better.
Once again, it's Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Go ahead and check out what he's doing there, right there at I Got Next Sports Media, including, I'm assuming, coverage of March Madness and also as well what's going on in the world of sports at I Got Next Sports Media, along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. Legend, when it comes right down to it, the Lakers gave themselves a little bit of buffer tonight. Again, if they don't win on Wednesday, they'll lose the tiebreaker to Houston, which is still crucial. They'll still have third place, but I think, again, if they can go and leave Houston with back to back victories, again, I'm not asking for anything in the South Beach flu as far as it's concerned. I'm assuming the South Beach flu will affect the Lakers the next night because you're asking them to go from Houston to Miami and play Miami 24 hours, less than 24 hours later. That I think is a little bit unfair. But on Wednesday, at least, if the Lakers can get a back to back victory in Houston, that will be key for the tiebreakers and also a key for the Lakers' chances to remain in third place moving forward.
Yeah, if they can get that tiebreaker, that's pretty huge. And at that point, I mean, the third seed is pretty much it's all in your hands at that point. You pretty much control your own destiny at that point. So for Lakers, you got to go into Wednesday knowing that it's still like a must-win situation. You get this win, you got a tiebreaker on them, Denver, T Wolves. At that point, you should have the 3 seed at that point. All you gotta do is just win enough games to keep everybody at bay. But even if they were not to win it, it's not the end of the world still. I think at this point, if I was JJ in the front office, I would probably start looking at the path that you can really take. And I think getting a 3 seed would probably be the best path. I would stay off that Oklahoma City side of the bracket and go for the Spurs bracket. Go for a team that doesn't have a lot of experience, that still young, figuring things out. You know, not gonna be an easy series, and probably a lot of people be picking them and stuff. But that's the best route to go. So if I'm them, get that 3rd seed, go on that side of the bracket, and let the chips fall where it falls at that point.
Oh, yes, you go from the bracket that has the defending champions who are on a roll right now themselves, and then you go to play a team. Yes, uh, they do have some experience on that team with Harrison Barnes, but you're right. They go to mainly a young team that they'll be playing against, if that's the case, in that bracket, if they get to the second round against the San Antonio team. But it is against Wembyama, and Wembyama is destroying people right now. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I could take too much comfort now. This is what he plays for. This is what Wembyama is excited for. This is what he wanted. He wanted the San Antonio Spurs to be ahead of schedule. He has willed this team to its great record. And tonight against the Clippers with 30 seconds left, they looks like they're going to get the victory. He got oh, by the way, 21, 13, and 3 blocks. Again, I'm just it's pick your poison,
Yeah, that's
Legend.
pretty much what
Pick
it
your
is.
poison. Yeah. Let's say the Golden State Warriors, they're if they get in the mix, if they come out of the play in, pick your poison. Do you pick an OKC or do you pick a San Antonio?
Honestly, I'd be like, I lose no matter what I pick. So It depends on which one I want to, how fast I want to lose at this point. I get Oklahoma, I probably lose in 5. I get the Spurs, probably still 5. So you know what? Maybe Oklahoma might be 4. I don't know. I'll take my chances with the Spurs and see what happens. But kind of a pick your poison situation is it's not really a pretty path either way. It's pretty bad. Both these two young teams, both them two young teams are clicking right now, and Victor Wembanyama is starting to become what a lot of people expect him to be. It's finally starting to form, and if that is really what's happening right now, goodbye to the Western Conference at that point.
Once again, it is legend from I Got Next Sports Media. The Lakers do win, of course, 100-92. Well, Stefan, I'll say this: as much as you guys love Joe, and as much as we love Joe here on the show, not everybody loves Joe. I get a lot of comments saying otherwise. Joe is great for a lot of guys and for a lot of others. But we love having Joe here, a part of this network. So hopefully he'll be coming on. He said he would come on for Wednesday's show, so we'll get him back then. It is, of course, Legend from I Got Next Sports Media, along with me, Gerald Glassford. I don't know where John is. He didn't. He usually sends me a long dissertation on the text, Legend, when he says he's not going to show up, and then tells me his entire itinerary why he's not going to be here. But he did not do that tonight, so I'm assuming he was going to be here. But hey, go ahead and check out Lakers Corner for his 3-minute report. If not, but Legend, let me get it back to you with what's going on in the NBA. Again, the Lakers do get the victory. Obviously, a great success story for them. Looking like it's going to go ahead and see what we can do as far as get this thing going for a good road trip. Again, I'm saying if they get the 2 games in Houston and go 4-2 on the road trip, I consider that a big success.
Yeah, I consider that as a humongous success. If you can go on the road trip and accomplish that much, I think it's a success. And knowing how the NBA is nowadays, I wouldn't be surprised they started resting some guys for Miami, just knowing how this era works. But that would be a success, honestly, if they can do that wise and handle your business. At this point, it's almost pretty easy money to hold on to that third seed at that point. All you need to do is just win the key games. Indiana should be an easy win. Brooklyn should be an easy win. Miami, I don't know, depending on is Bam finna drop another 80 out there.
He won't need to again because I, Joe, cover your ears. Back to back, South Beach flu. Just choose how many players the Lakers will not be playing on Thursday. You could just imagine how it's going to go. My
Yep,
expectations are low, and I'm hoping they'll exceed those expectations. But
that's how the NBA is now.
yeah, it's how the NBA is now. I'm just like, get the win on Wednesday. Get the win on Wednesday for the Lakers. Finish off strong in Orlando. Finish Orlando because Orlando just had their winning streak snapped. If you win in Orlando, you split Florida. You probably will lose at Detroit because they're pretty pissed right now because they've been losing some games right now that they shouldn't have been losing. And then you get the win in Indiana. You go 4-2 on the road trip. I would consider that a big win. I would consider that big win, and will go a long way to getting them into that bracket you're talking about in the Western Conference. But again, for what's going on for everybody out there, the Lakers win 100-92. They talked about it. Luca did after the game about the intensity on the floor, and I talked about how we couldn't hear that translated as far as the audience or the crowd is concerned, but we saw them on the floor, the way they played, and to have that kind of defense. The Lakers defense has been much maligned for a great part of this year. It's nice to see that JJ is tinkering with some things as far as trying to get the best out of these players defensively, but also the effort seems to have risen from, as Nick T said, from guys like LeBron, guys like Luca, guys like Austin, who have been much maligned in that way as far as our defense most of the season, are finally deciding to go ahead and apply it on that end as well.
Yeah, I'm amazed at how much effort they've been putting in, and I would love to ask JJ, what did you say to these guys to get this much effort out of them? Cause they looking really good. Austin out here sacrificing his body. LeBron diving on the ball at age 41, which you'll never see a 41-year-old at the YMCA doing it. But I mean, it's just been amazing effort from what you've been seeing from these guys, and it's been paying off in this on this winning streak thus far. And this is the effort you need to see on a consistent basis. Win or lose, you got to stay giving this type of effort because this is what it takes to win and go far in the playoff. You got to give this type of effort every single time, no matter what's happening. And DeAndre Ayton doing the same too. At first, he was letting Clint Capella go out here and outplay him for a good little minute of this game, and but he came big towards the end. But maybe next
You
time he'll.
notice that. You
I
notice that
noticed
because
that.
I could not miss the irony in the fact that through 3.5 quarters, legend DeAndre Ayton was getting Clint Capella.
Yeah, he got to learn how to be quiet, man. Just play basketball, bro.
But he
Just let.
finished it out like against Denver on Saturday. He finished it out when it was needed the most. Nothing the whole entire game until it mattered the most.
I would follow him. If you want to do all this type of talking, do this when you done accomplish a little bit more, man. But right now, just play basketball, play your role, be quiet, go get paid, keep all the unnecessary stuff out of there. We don't need to hear all that because the memes and stuff gonna be flying on the internet if you let Clint Capella out here outplaying you because of what you said. Stuff that could have been avoided if you just be quiet and play basketball, and that's it. Just play ball. I hope you ain't going to playoff talking junk about Wimby or something. Yeah.
Stefan, there was no outrage here with Joe and I wasn't a big DFS fan. I thought he was okay, but you know, I didn't want to see the Lakers sign him, but a guy that is already approaching his mid 30s to that kind of deal that he was getting. So good luck to him. I just didn't think he was that important because again, good defender, can hit the three, but he just doesn't. For every 15-point game, he would have a 5-point game. He's just a 10-point career player throughout his entire career. He just you see tools that he has that could make him a better player, but he just never chose to go ahead and go that route, Stephon. So there's no big deal for me that he lost, and I said it clearly on the show several times. So during the summer, so again, it wasn't a big deal. Other shows might have been worried about that, but in place we did get DeAndre Ayton dominating. Jake LaRavia, who has kind of regressed in recent weeks, today he did not look good. And El Rosto, you might get some good news if he continues to struggle like that. You'll see Vando back out on the floor if that's the case.
That's
But
concerning.
but the Laravia did not look good today.
I mean, ugh.
Uh, but Marcus Smart, I said going in the season, you got to stay healthy. You have to stay healthy. I just did not think he was going to be able to stay healthy because the past 2 years have been pretty much non-existent for him due to injuries. He stayed on the floor and he stayed on the floor most of the season and has provided at times a very big lift. And as it gets closer to the end of the season, he's making more and more contributions on both sides of the ball. It isn't always pretty on the offensive end, but he is hitting some clutch shots when it's needed. And for the Lakers, of course, what he brings is the best defender on the team. Your thoughts on Marcus Smart? Again, a guy who, as long as he stays out on the floor, as long as he stays upright, can make a winning contribution to a team.
He has been to me one of the most biggest reasons, one of the many biggest reasons why this Lakers team is playing very well right now. He's been hitting some big time shots that I don't blame no defense to leave that guy wide open. I would still do that every single time. But the fact that he's knocking him down, that's what makes the Lakers a lot more dangerous. When your scouting report says leave him open, he's gonna brick it most likely. He's knocking it down. Now that's become a problem, and he's been knocking it down consistently. The defense always been good at defense, drawing all the charges. He's been doing really good with drawing charges, but the knocking down the big clutch threes when you need them, that is what to me has been the biggest impressive thing about Marcus Smart right now. This is the Marcus Smart that several years ago the Celtics wanted you to do, but you couldn't do, and they had to ship you out of there because you couldn't knock it down three to save your life. And right now he's knocking down when you need it. Not for sure how consistent you can keep doing it, but it looks good. It looks good right now. And it's one of the big reasons why Lakers are doing such a good job of what they're doing right now. About like how we watch Aaron Gordon knocking down threes like prime Clay Thompson.
Yeah, I don't want to go that far. Let's not go that far on it. But okay. Uh,
I made Marcus Smart feel good tonight.
okay, yes. That I don't want to go prime Clay Thompson on that, but again, because he's averaging about 33% on the season, but he's hitting him when it counts, and that's all
Yep.
that matters. So yeah, so all right, but it is of course Gerald Glassford, along with my good friend Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Lakers win 100-92. Uh, Maria and Rob are going to win you. No, Stefan, you will never win me over with Rob Pelinka unless they win another championship and
Oh
he's the
no.
driving force behind it. No, I don't think so. But his resume speaks for itself, Stefan, and it does not speak very well. Again, he's had a good run now, but last time he had a good run, he went off the deep end. And I'm just waiting until that moment happens again. And I don't want to see that for Lakers fans because, again, his talent evaluation skills have been very suspect. Look at his drafting has been really bad. What has Thiero done for this team? Nothing. While other players have been making that big imprint on the team, so on other teams. So we'll see. Again, you got to give credit to
Mm-mm.
Rob for putting some good value targets on the team for this year. But again, there's reasons why Joe and I have ridiculed him in
Boy.
the past and will
Mm-mm.
continue to do so. But
I
oh,
wouldn't. I
speaking of
wouldn't even want him in
Joe,
Atlanta.
exactly. You wouldn't want him anywhere as a GM at this point. Once he leaves. But again, here is a guy who said wasn't going to come on, but I guess he is now. It is Joe Soro. Joe, good to have you here. No, there is no chance, Stefan. So again, great to have you here, Joe. The Lakers do pull out the victory. Obviously, a great win for the Lakers. One of the ugliest starts to the fourth quarter the Lakers have ever had, but they were able to overcome it, get the clutch points down the stretch, and get the victory.
I didn't think it was ugly.
Oh, so 4 points in 8.5 minutes is not ugly, and missing
What's
10 straight shots is not ugly. I don't know
what
what
was
game
gr-
you were watching.
what was great is the fact that they stopped Houston the entire second half. That was beautiful.
Yes, I understand it. I've explained that throughout the
I,
show,
I
but
don't
you
think
cannot
you
tell
do.
me
I don't
missing
think you
10
do
shots
understand
in a
that.
row is beautiful basketball,
I don't
Joe.
think you understand.
I don't think you
I
understand.
think you
I don't
pick
think you
the stuff you
understand. You said
want,
nobody yells at
and
you. I
then
yell at your
you
face.
roll with it. You got to look at the big picture.
I got to roll with them missing 10
Yeah,
shots.
you got to roll. You
I
got
got
yeah.
to roll.
You got to
Okay,
roll with
you
it
roll.
sometimes.
You
Look what
roll with
happened.
right down the road,
Not
Mister.
one comment. Not one single comment about stout defense for 24 minutes.
What comment? I've already talked about the defense for
I
20.
know your game,
Don't you
man.
tell me I know your game, but
I
I
know your
just talked
game.
about JJ implementing a
I was
double
supposed to
team.
relax
I just
tonight.
admit
I came on to tell
I've
you this.
mentioned it several times. Do you not have ears? Do you not have
I
ears?
have ears and I have eyes.
Okay, then you
That
should know.
was
I talked
beautiful
about JJ
basketball for
Redick
24 minutes.
implementing a double
Those guys
team on Kevin
busted their rear
Durant the
end.
entire second half.
Houston
Idiots,
didn't know what the hell to do.
idiots.
They were trapping KD all freaking second half. They
I
didn't know what the hell
just
was
said
going on.
that 3
It
times
was
on this
beautiful
show already.
basketball, and there's nothing you can say about it.
You're busy trying to make your dumb comments on the chat. That's
No,
what
I'm
you're
not
doing.
making dumb comments. I'm making comments.
Then you would have heard me saying 3 different times about JJ
I don't want
Redick
to hear about
implementing
your
double
3,
teams
4.
on
It doesn't matter.
and
Sitting there
missing
talking
10
about the
shots is
fourth
not
quarter
ugly
being a
to you.
disaster.
I'm gonna file that one. I'm gonna file that one.
File
That
what?
the Lakers missing 10 shots is not ugly to you.
No, it wasn't because they were
The
killing
Lakers
themselves on
missing 10
defense and they
shots
were
in a
winning.
row is
Sometimes
not
the
ugly to
shots
you.
don't drop, but they won.
They
They
won. The game was won,
squeezed
but
the
it was
Rockets.
ugly.
Squeezed
It
them.
was Missing 10 shots in a row and scoring 4 points
Squeeze
in the
the
first
Rockets.
8.5
They didn't know what
minutes
the hell to do.
is.
They were turning the ball over. They were passing it to the third row.
I said that 22 turnovers. You don't watch the show.
No,
You
I
just
watched
sit there on the
everything.
comment board.
No.
Yeah, play
No.
it back,
You're not winning
Sunshine.
this
Play
argument.
it back, Sunshine.
No.
Play it back because
No.
it's right there. Yes,
No.
it's right there. I'll clip
No.
it for you, you
No.
idiot. And right there, it'll be
No.
right there, so I could shove it in
And
your
then
face.
right after that, you start talking about Miami. Can you wait for the second Houston game before you worry about Miami?
I'll talk about the schedule.
Oh,
I'll
guys,
do what
they
I
played
want.
terrible in
It's
the
my
fourth
channel,
quarter.
It's my show.
Oh, by the way, guys, are they going to get sick in Miami? I'm like, sick in Miami? It's Monday.
I will say what I want to say. It's a free country. Yes, Wednesday and Thursday is a back-to-back. Guess what the league does, which you hate the most? It's reality,
why
Joe.
is it on mute now?
I'm not on mute. You're not on mute. You're not on mute. Okay. No worries. Thanks, Legend. Appreciate you being on, man. Legend, can you hear me? Yeah, no worries. I'm arguing with Joe, and it's like, okay, yeah, why isn't it on mute? I don't know what's going on with him. But again, it's the Lakers. Guy just sits there in the chat and just goes back. He actually does not watch or listen to the show that he's actually on. Here's the guy who doesn't listen to watch the show. Again,
It went on mute. I don't know. I couldn't hear you.
Well, there you go. See, there you go. But go ahead. Talk about the game.
I enjoyed the second half greatly.
No, Xbox. I won this debate. You could play it back, sucker. You could play it back, Xbox. Anytime.
Enjoyed the second half.
Don't pal around with your friend.
This is the kind of game on the road.
I got it right here. I called it, and it's on video. It's always on video, and I got it, and I can clip it.
You got it, and you can put that in the loss column again.
I talked about JJ 3 separate times, double teaming Kevin Durant in the second half. You don't want to listen? That's fine. You're ignorant. That's your fault. You don't like the fact that I called missing 10 shots in a row ugly? That's fine. That's your choice. But again, don't say something that I didn't. Don't say something that was there when I said it.
Houston
and it's
throwing the ball to the fans every other play. That was ugly.
No, Xbox. No, Xbox. Sorry. No, bad call, Xbox. Sorry. You're wrong, man. You're way off. Stop trying to pal around with your buddy and trying to kiss up to him. I got it right. I've been calling it right. I called it here for the first 30 minutes. No way. Sorry. You guys are off once again.
Lakers played on the road against a formidable team, and they won a game that builds massive amounts of character. When you miss that many shots, when you're tired,
I said it was a gritty win, which you did not hear.
And that should be the title. That should not be about how they struggled. They didn't struggle.
Also, 10 shots in a row is not.
No, it's not. Not when you win.
Not when you win. Okay,
no one talks about Kobe.
10 shots. No one.
The only people that talk about Kobe
in a row is not ugly.
I'm going to give you an example.
And it's not.
The only people that talk about Kobe 6 for 24 in Game 7 in 2010 are those who hate him. Anyone else remembers game high?
What does that have to do with this
15
conversation?
rebounds?
What does that have?
And a Finals MVP? Because I'm giving you an example.
Well,
I'm giving you an example.
I've never used that example. So
what does that have to do? I didn't say you. Not everything's not revolved around Gerald Glassford.
On this channel, it does.
Yeah, well, this is a different subject.
Okay, you're going off on a tangent, and nobody knows why.
I'm not. I'm just giving you a comparison.
It's a lousy comparison, but okay.
Well,
Lakers just missed 10 shots.
Everyone else understands
they won the game. They played a hard, gritty, great game. They double teamed Kevin Durant in that second half and implemented a defense which they forced 22 turnovers, which I mentioned several times.
Good for you. You want a pat on the back?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, pat yourself on the back like Barry Horowitz then.
Okay, I will. Absolutely, indeed.
All right, good. Good
Why
for you.
Your job like Barry Horowitz. There you go.
Nah, I'm Catholic.
Well, again, he probably got a very successful career because of it.
Good for him.
I think he's still active today. But anyways, go ahead.
So tonight's game, another topic of the discussion is there's 2 games in a row where DeAndre Ayton closed out really, really well. The numbers don't look good, but he made absolutely game piercing plays against the opponent that kind of put the Lakers over.
Yeah,
If,
he would
if,
like
if
again. He struggled for the first 3.5 quarters, but finished strong like he did in the overtime against Denver.
he had 11 rebounds, and again, the baskets he made at the end of both games are huge. If this is, I guess we'll take what we can get, but if he can somehow harness this throughout a 48-minute game, then it becomes much easier for everybody. Uh, if you see Jackson Hayes' performance tonight, you guys understand a little bit more why it's difficult to rely on Jackson Hayes when he's around athletic wings that are able to jump out the building and able to shoot. That's why it's very hard for, you saw a lot of times where Jackson Hayes was getting stuck at the top of the key, guarding Reed Shepard. That those type of things are dangerous. So another really, really, really good adjustment with that is when he started seeing that a little bit in the second half, because you could tell that Ime was probably trying to get out of whatever funk they were getting out of there with the traps. Right away, JJ took him out. I thought that was a brilliant move. It was just basically Ime and JJ were playing chess. Ime owned the first half. JJ owned the second half, but Ime was trying to get out of that, but JJ just kept making little adjustments that really, really catapulted the Lakers to the point where if they weren't going to make the shots, then they were going to play defense as well as they were, and it just kept going. The Rockets did not have a clue how to move the ball in the second half due to the traps. And I don't know, did Durant score a point in the second half?
2 points
2
at the
points.
very end of
Wow.
the game.
Yeah,
and then 7 turnovers overall for him.
Yeah, that was wow. That was one of the more impressive defensive halves I have seen in a very long time. And man, it was really fun to watch. I know it was burning when they were missing shots, but I talked myself into thinking, okay, well, and it's not the only time I've done this. I started talking to myself, well, if you guys aren't going to make shots, just keep doing what you're doing on D. At some point, Luka's going to come back in, especially the first 5 minutes of that game when we were on Discord. We were talking about how if they could just sustain where they are, even if they don't go above 5 point, 6 point lead, as long as they don't have a 5-6 point deficit, as long as they keep it even for 5 minutes before Luka gets back, they're probably going to be in good shape. And it's exactly what happened, and they ended up closing it out.
Real quick, I just want to say to Joe's point, absolutely, Joe. Like these last couple of games, it has been some of the best defense I have seen from this team in a long time, to be honest with you. And I want to give credit to JJ, but also want to give credit to like even just like the role players just doing all the little things. You would love to see it. So just wanted to Joe's point, speak on that. But what's up, everybody?
You can't sit anybody on Wednesday, folks, because it's more important to win Wednesday than it is on Thursday.
Because it's for the tiebreaker.
For the tiebreaker. If they win Wednesday, they have the tiebreaker over Houston, Denver, and Minnesota. Miami is a Eastern Conference team. So if they lose that game, it doesn't kill them as much, even though the records right now are a little tight. But winning, the priority is to beat Houston Wednesday over Thursday.
Also here today, good man indeed. You got to go ahead and catch his 3-minute report. He comes back to us. Jeremy's asking, okay, you need a full report while you were gone.
I got you, and I'm actually happy to be here, Gerald. You know what?
It is John Costa, Lakers Corner.
Gerald,
yes.
I don't know if I told you, but I was having to go to San Jose. I don't know if you're too familiar with the Bay Area, but I was having to go to San Jose a lot because I've been working to get this promotion at Zoom, okay? I've been working really, really hard. And the crazy thing is like, I love working from home. I get to drop my daughter off at school. I get to pick her up. But I needed to get this promotion. So I had my girl do it.
You want more.
So I had my girl do it. So I had my girl take her to school, drop her off, had to sacrifice all these days. It's like 65 miles from my house, right? San Jose is hella far from my house. But listen, I kept going. I showed up. I networked. And guess fucking what? I got the job.
Congratulations, my friend. Well earned, well deserved. I'm very happy for you.
I got it on Friday. They called me on Friday at like 4:30 and they offered me the job. Now we're just in contract negotiations, which is funny. But yeah,
Mr. John Costa, the executive of the Lakers Fast Break. Truly great to have you here, my friend. Your thoughts on the Lakers game today? I got sent a message. Said great win for Lakers. Very ugly win for the Lakers, according to what was the message that was sent to me. So it's not just me saying it. When you miss 10 shots in a row in the fourth quarter and score only 4 points in the first 8.5 minutes, you kind of get concerned. But the Lakers, they closed it out strong. And yes, you do have to give JJ credit, like I did several times on the show, but this ignoramus here didn't listen. That double teaming against Kevin Durant in that second half keyed the comeback, being down by 10. And they really stuck to it. And the 22 turnovers overcame any obstacles on the offensive boards that the Houston Rockets were able to overcome on their end.
yeah. I mean, I think Joe said it best. They were out there playing chess, right? Like Ime had it in the first, but man, like if you go watch that first quarter and then you go watch like the third quarter, really the third quarter actually. If you watch the first and the third, it'll be like watching two different basketball players with KD. And like in that first quarter, y'all, he was just KD. He was Kevin freaking Durant. And he scored 8 points, getting to his spot, rising up over people. I even said this in my 3 minute recap. So please go watch that 3 minute recap. I said, yo, it was just like sometimes you play great defense, but better offense. Like that's what it just was.
It's vintage KD.
Right? Exactly. You got a hand up. You right there. You're out there, but he's shooting right over you. Cash, right? So I was like, damn, okay, this might be a tough game in that first quarter. But then you go back and you watch that. I mean, really, just anywhere in that second half, but really that third quarter, we held him scoreless. Y'all, we were executing a perfect double team. You want to see how to execute a good double team? Watch that third quarter. Every time KD on the catch, the ball's in air. We're already sending players to him. To when he catch it, he already seeing bodies all over him. He's turning around, got people all over him, forcing
Pinned
the
them
ball,
against the half court line, actually forced a turnover
right?
with him stepping on the half court line.
And you know what's crazy, Gerald? I actually don't like. I'm not a big proponent of doubling that high up, right? Like I actually do not like doubling near half court because there's too much floor for them to play with, and now you're just playing catch up. But that was like one of the times where doubling at half court worked. And yeah, I mean, shit, bro, we were just getting it done defensively. And the crazy thing is, y'all, when we went on that 7 minute scoring drought in that fourth quarter, we were still up. We were still up 89-88. And that's the crazy thing. That is a testament. I don't even know if that's the right word to our defense. Like that is a testament to our defense. We were playing immaculate defense, and that's the only reason we were still up. Granted by one, but if you're up, you're up. And then Marcus Smart, he hit that three, got the lid off the rim. And shit, we got the win. Do want to note that our defense has been the reason we won the last couple of games. I just dropped yesterday my week 20 recap. I do like a weekly recap at the end of the week, right? Where I guess on, and I talked about the key to the last week's games was defense. But I mean, besides the Bulls game where Luka went off for 51 and LeBron went, AR at 30, but every other game was just defense, and that's what won us the game. And I think tonight, once again, man, defense.
So that's 4 wins in a row, Joe, after only winning 4 games total against 600 teams. And like John said, a lot of it based off of the defense for the Lakers. Is this sustainable for the Lakers going forward?
Oof. One advantage they do have is that they are young. However, the lack of athleticism is going to put them in a predicament where they're going to get more tired, especially in a playoff series, especially a 7-game series. I don't know how that'll play out. We have to wait for that because I'll know more after the first round if they end up getting out of there with a win. It's going to be hard either way, but the effort given is is great. These guys are playing their butts off. You can't really ask for any more than what they've been doing. Uh, Sounds corny, but I'm really proud of them. I'm really proud of what they've done here the last few weeks, and it's the beginning of something. That's how I'm looking at it too. Is imagine 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 Reeves continuing to get better. Imagine Luca being what he is. Imagine the role players having a, a spot with this team, and then add some athletes on this team, some younger guys, some seasoned guys that are young, and this team's gonna probably be something to reckon with here in the next year or two. And that's kind of how I've looked at this. I don't know how the results of this year are going to be, but it's a hell of a start in my eyes. I think they're doing great. I hope beyond hope that they can make a run. But if not, if they're playing their ass off and they're still playing like this and maybe not winning, because even if they had lost tonight, I still would have been happy with how hard they played. They really played hard. I mean, you could see it. And when you don't have those athletes, I was talking to the boys on Discord today. That's the stuff that gets you more tired, because Austin Reeves not being able to move a little bit quicker laterally or forward or get up in the air a little bit. It's less energy when you're more athletic, when you can do that, right? And there was a play in the game when LeBron had a breakaway and he got fouled. And LeBron, maybe even 5 years ago, would have jumped from the dotted line and dunked, but he didn't. And that's the loss of that athleticism. And what ended up happening was it was a foul call, and he went 1 of 2. That's the difference. That extra step, that extra inch. That's how competitive the highest leagues in the world are. When you don't have that extra inch that you can jump, that extra lateral foot that you can get past your guy, you're expending more energy when you don't have that extra athleticism. I've talked about this for years. The reason why Michael Jordan over Kobe is simply because he had an extra gear, God-given gear. And that's why he could get to a spot at any time he wanted with separation, versus Kobe, whom basically developed a way for him to just jump over somebody and make a shot. That's the difference. The
Maybe you
little
can borrow
things.
some from Amen Thompson, though. Can that kid jump or what?
That kid can jump out the gym. That kid is a purebred athlete.
Yeah, but he can't handle the ball for shit.
Right? He's just one of those guys who he
needs to work on his handles. If I was Amin, I would be dribbling a basketball everywhere I go.
Joe, what's up with you, brother? Where you at?
I'm at home.
At home? Why you off camera today, brother? What's going on?
It wasn't going to be on tonight.
No, he wasn't going to be on, but decided to come on.
Yeah.
So we're so happy to have him here. It is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Lakers win 192. People forget that Michael Jordan volunteered to come off the bench with the Wizards, Stefan was saying. Eduardo says, I wish I would have been able to experience Jordan Gamble. Again, just great athleticism from Thompson. But yeah, he's still a very unfinished product. And I think that's a Houston Rockets in a nutshell. You saw without Alperen Sengun in the lineup tonight, they lose a playmaker. They lose a guy with skills, John, and really you could see the effect of it. Didn't hurt their offensive rebounding because they killed the Lakers on that end, but still, the fact is they weren't able to have that guy that really is able to distribute an offense. KD can do it, but doesn't do a great job as we saw tonight. 7 turnovers of the 22 were his. They put a lot when you have a guy like Alperen Sengun out of the lineup, they have to put a lot into the hands of KD, and you see that again. You can really make his life uncomfortable and make it hard on the Houston Rockets to have other players do something else.
It's crazy, Joe. A lot of people would ask me about the Rockets And I'd be like, honestly, I just don't really believe in the Rockets come to make like a deep playoff push because of that exact reason. What exactly just got exposed today? They don't have a real true point guard. Yes, Kevin Durant can do and play 1 through 5 because he's Kevin freaking Durant. He's a generational talent. There's a couple of those guys in the league who just can play 1 through 5, right? But Joe talked about the inches, right? Joe talked about like that be, the difference when you're competing at the highest possible level. And that's right there is a difference, right? KD can bring the ball up court and get into the offense, but he's having to exert so much energy having to bring that ball up court, get into the offense, then get into the spot, run off the ball, get open. That's so much different than having a point guard who is his role out there is to exactly do what Freddie's gonna do. Come out there, set your big man up, get your easy points. Like that's the difference right there between KD injury or not injury, KD getting more tired, KD getting less tired, him having to bring the ball up court every single time and get into the offense versus getting the ball right where he wants it, right where his spot, because his point guard setting him up. And also he doesn't have to worry about all those presses. This is just the Lakers. Can you imagine a young athletic team like OKC pressing them like that? KD wouldn't know what to do. Obviously, he wouldn't know what to do, but if he was playing like tonight, he wouldn't know what to do.
I don't know, Rosta, if it's going to be Rui that's going to get less minutes, Joe. I think Laravia, he struggled. He's 7 points and 4 rebounds, but he struggled at times. 3 turnovers for him. Did get 3 steals, but yeah, Jackson Hayes, like you said, you saw tonight that these type of games are going to be difficult for him. Luke Kennard was a donut for 17 minutes. So another situation where, again, they mentioned it on the broadcast, the Lakers in Houston have 2 of the worst benches as far as bench scoring in the league, and it showed tonight.
Laravia is scary with the ball. I don't know why.
And not in a good way.
And Gerald, real quick, who has been saying that since the beginning of the season? Yeah, boy. I've been saying this guy looks fucking scared. He looks like he gets the ball and says, looks like he freezes up. And I have no time and patience for that in the NBA. This is a totally different thing. We're talking about fucking high school basketball.
But they were ready to get on you.
They're ready to get on me, right? They're ready to get on me. They're ready to kill me. When I was like, dude, this guy looks unsure with the basketball. This guy is not confident in himself. This guy, and you can clearly see it.
So Joe,
but I was crazy.
Yes, you were crazy. Yes, no, but I'm kidding. Laravia, he's a rotation player, and he's prone to his ups and downs. But Joe, to at least have some semblance of security or confidence that your bench can produce. Otherwise, we're going in the same situation we did last season, where JJ might be forced to play 5 players in the second half once again.
That's not going to happen. There's going to be a 7-man rotation at the very least here. Last year they had a 5-man rotation, and that was it really. The Laravia issue with me today was I don't know why he was bringing the ball up the few times I saw him bringing it up. I'm like, what are you doing? Everyone is trapping tonight. Everyone was trapping. And the last guy you want holding the ball as a point guard is Laravia or Rui. Like, these guys cannot be ball handlers on this team. And it's important to understand, too, that these guys have a role, and the role is to hit the open shots. Guys like Rui, guys like Laravia, guys like Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart can handle the ball a little bit, not much, but better than Laravia, obviously. But what I look forward to, hopefully soon here, is imagine a Luka team where teams are going to have to really think about trapping him. Imagine an offense where a team cannot trap Luka. If you do that, that's when you know you have the right team around Luka. And then also factor in that even when that is happening, Luka's dropping 36, 8, and 8 on your ass. That's pretty crazy. And then you see him playing defense the way he has here the last few weeks. It's quite amazing. I remember hearing. I try to stay away from the personal stuff. When I say I don't care, it's not that I don't care about his well-being and hopefully his family. It's that I don't give a shit. It's not my business. And for those who are yapping about, man, this is going to be a distraction. Maybe people forgot that Luka doesn't come from the same blood like most people. This is a guy that is an all-time great. All-time great players do not get affected when they go on the court. Matter of fact, that becomes their sanctuary.
Are you talking about Luka's divorce or whatever?
Yeah, something like that. Whatever is going on there.
Yeah.
Well, he's not divorcing, but it's a custody battle taking place.
Oh, really?
I
see.
He's not married. It was his
And
fiance.
I mentioned that because there's.
Hell yeah.
I'm mentioning that because there's it came out. They're trying to. When I say they, I'm talking about the guys looking for clicks. They're trying to put stress on that. They're showing pictures of him taking pictures with Sharapova and things like that. They're trying to the clickers are trying to jack up Luka. Luka isn't one of those guys. Once he gets on the court, there's really nothing else. He's likely
not worried about no butt.
He's
not worried about no butt on the court. He worried about busting your butt. Who's that one guy?
Well,
Joe?
I wouldn't say Luka traps himself. I think what happens is spacing gets stupid sometimes, and he gets stuck in the corner because the players are so used to giving him the ball. It's, I'm not saying he's not at fault sometimes here and there when in terms of guiding the offense, but this is the way of the NBA now. My only thing is, there's one thing that I want Luka to stop doing. I don't want him to. I know he makes them sometimes, but I would like him to not. That last second shot in the third quarter where he was going against his momentum, shooting the three. He had plenty of time not to do that. I'd like him to maybe tighten that up a little bit and get better shots. Step back is technically a good shot for him. He makes those. But when he's moving around and he takes a shot that's kind of like a last second shot when it's not, those are the shots I would like him not to take. Yeah, today's Dodger game was one of the weirdest games I think I've ever seen.
He just won back-to-back. I mean, he just won back-to-back championships, Danny.
But today's game was weird.
Roberts. Yeah.
No, we're not getting rid of Dave Roberts. No, this is a spring. First of all,
it's a spring training.
It's spring training that it doesn't really count. What was funny about what happened today was they allowed 10 runs and there was not a single out until there was outs. It's like, can we get an out? No one could pitch today after Glasnow came out. It was the weirdest game. I don't know.
Like
I've never really seen a game like that.
Is it?
It's like that old Bugs Bunny cartoon.
It was a cartoon.
Every player is getting a hit.
Yeah, it was a cartoon. I couldn't figure out. And the thing was, the hits kept coming, and there wasn't a single play that gave any indication that they were going to get out of the inning. It was just weird game. This weird game. Roki comes out tomorrow, though. We'll see what happens with him.
Stefan Piscano podcast says, appreciate the super chat. He says, Luka is averaging 38 points a game. The Lakers are 6-0 since the young lady filed her child support lawsuits in the state of California. That's why it's an issue. It's because the argument and disagreement started in Slovenia when she had their second child, John. Police were called in at that point in time, but nothing came out of it. But she has filed for child custody, even though one daughter has only spent 3 months in California when he was initially traded. It came to California, and the other daughter has never spent a second in California.
Damn, bro, that's crazy, bro. That shit is.
But as you know, living in California, the California laws for child custody and compensation are very generous.
Very generous. But bro, man, that shit is crazy,
Be
man.
good to your woman. That's what I'll
Yeah,
say.
be good to your woman. If you have her in California, be good to her.
Pick a better woman. Actually, that
Sure,
might be
bro,
a better one.
Joe, thank you. I was about to say the same thing. Joe, I was literally
Never.
I'm saying no. I was saying it to you, John. I was
oh,
saying it to you.
oh, yeah. No, I got a great one. We've been together for a long time, so
Yeah,
she ain't gonna know it. Listen. And she not taking half of this. Anyway,
you might
let's
not have a choice on that.
I was gonna say this. I was gonna say exactly what my boy Joe said. These NBA players, like, yeah, they got their life made, like, right? Like tall, athletic, like good money. Man, you playing a child's game and you making generational wealth. But they be picking the dumbest and weakest women to be with. I'll be like, damn, y'all, what's up with y'all? I mean, like they maybe on the outer appearance they look good, but they fucking them over on the back end. Anthony Edwards is paying like $75,000 a month or some crazy shit like that a month over child support or
That's because he's a piece of shit.
yeah, he's a piece of shit. But a lot of these guys are just fucking and going.
Yeah, any man who pays off a skank to and with your kid to not ever see him again has zero
He's
worth
crazy.
to me on this planet. I think they're a piece. He's a piece of shit. And I'll never have any respect for him. Now, Luka's situation. The reason why I brought it up is when I try to explain to people that Luka has a different mindset on things, you're seeing it. This guy's not affected by what's going on around him when he's on that court. When he's on that court, he's a magician, and you're seeing it. And as far as what it's going to take for Luka to win an MVP, unfortunately, it's not going to be this year. I think they're going to give it to SGA regardless because they have they have his nuts in their mouth this year for some weird reason. And Luka's going to need to be he's going to need to be battling for that one seed for him to have a chance to be an MVP in LA because history says you can't win an MVP as a Laker unless your record says so. At least in the modern game, in modern voting, because I know that I think Gerald didn't Kareem win an MVP in '75 with a losing record
Yes,
or '76, yeah.
Yeah.
So
with the Bucks,
it's
correct.
yeah, it's just not something that's realistic at this point. However, it would be nice if he ended up facing the MVP and they ended up beating him. I think that'd be enough to say, hey, look, this is my league, right?
And that's
It's
another
nice.
thing. They should do MVP. They should do all that shit after playoffs.
No, I don't believe that an MVP or any regular season
It's a
award
regular
should ever
season
be
award.
given during the regular. Yeah,
Agreed.
I'm a firm believer that the awards belong for the regular season.
Really?
Okay. I've never been a proponent on playoff.
I just feel
Well,
like
they have a playoff
MVP,
like, I believe.
I mean, I guess. I mean, they only have a Finals MVP though. You know, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
I guess.
Finals MVP. That's right.
Finals MVP has been that particular award has. Now that I've thought about it, because I was kind of getting on the NBA with, are they going to make 17 different awards for everybody, right? Because now there's a conference MVP, right? Much like a championship series MVP in baseball. But it's weird because winning a conference MVP, isn't that, Gerald? Isn't that for the whole Western Conference run?
Yeah,
Not just the
that's
Western Conference. Yeah.
So when you win like the Western Conference Finals MVP,
Western Conference Finals MVP award.
Yeah,
there's a Western and Eastern Conference Finals.
So they factor in round one, the semifinals, and the conference finals, right? That's how that award is voted on.
Yeah.
Because Shea, it says here listed that he won all 3 MVPs: regular season, finals, and Western Conference Finals MVP.
Yeah.
But it's I feel like it also just it mainly takes into account because people have prisoners mentality, just that series, to be honest. But I guess I see what you guys are saying. It's a regular season award, but the only reason what I was saying is because like I think that like for example, in my opinion, right, like for a perfect example, I think it was 07 when Dirk won the MVP, but then got knocked out first round of the playoffs, like you can't win the MVP at that point. Like in my mind, like there's no way we can say we're a league of competitors and say, hey, this guy was an MVP, the most valuable player of this league, and he got knocked out in the first round. It just doesn't work like that, in my opinion. And then, to Joe's point, like let's say, like maybe like SGA or Jokic or whatever. Like let's say Jokic. I think that's more realistic that we beat the Nuggets in the playoff series than OKC. But let's say Jokic wins it, right? And then Luka Doncic like just dominates him in the series, and we beat the Nuggets. In my opinion, there's just no way we can, rightfully give Jokic an MVP. And I'm not just saying that's because Luka in that situation, whoever in that situation, if you out here outright dominate the player who is so-called MVP, and you play like that most valuable player, that should be you, I think. But hey, what do I know?
Just a note that the Lakers are now 2 games behind the Boston Celtics as far as for records go. Just in case, Lakers find their way and see their way through, Joe, to finals. This possibly this year, if that happens.
That is interesting, actually. That would be nice to. Boy, would that?
It was quite a gap before, so
yeah, that would be an interesting end if that were to happen.
Just saying. Just keep that in the back of the folder right there. Again, still 2 games behind them. But speaking of 2 games, John, they are now 2 games ahead of Denver, Minnesota. 3 if you include the fact that they own the tiebreaker as well.
Yes, sir. So if we look at the playoff standing, we'd play Minnesota right now.
Yeah, a repeat of what happened last season. So yes.
I guess a repeat of the matchup, but not a repeat of the way it's going to go down, though. It won't go down the same way. I promise you that much. Let me see here. Who's a favorable matchup for you guys? Because honestly, Houston. Yeah, I would love to play the Rockets. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd love to play the Rockets in that first round. And I'm not even saying this off the recency bias, just off mainly the fact that Fred's not going to be there all year long. So this point guard thing is going to continue. This lack of point guard issue is going to. I know that they'll have Alfie back, and he'll be like a kind of like a point center, but I know the game. You need a point guard.
Well, you can't throw like next on Wednesday. You can't just throw out for an entire half another double teaming on Kevin Durant. Ime Udoka is a good enough coach that he would find some way around it and work on that.
Oh, for sure. No, 100%.
But it's something you need to put as far as if you do play them in a matchup in the playoffs in the 7-game series that you might want to throw back at them during the course of that series that has worked in the past.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely they for sure got something up their sleeve to respond to it, but it's a root issue. It's like if you're bleeding and you put a Band-Aid over it, but you don't stop the hole or stitch up the hole. You just put a Band-Aid over it. Like you didn't really fix the root issue, and that point guard issue is a root issue that it's going to continue to bite them in the butt. I guarantee, like how Chuck says, I guarantee that that's going to come back to bite them in the butt. And it's probably going to be the reason that they're going to get knocked out, which is why I say I'd love to play him early, because the Nuggets will be tough. Timberwolves, I feel good, but still not as good as I feel like with the Rockets.
Any last thoughts, Joe? Before we head on out on a great victory for the Lakers, 192, now a game and a half in front of the Houston Rockets before we meet against them once again on Wednesday.
Enjoy the ride. I've been enjoying it here the last few weeks. Understand that there's going to be a bigger picture here, but man, if they can get lucky on a couple of things here and there, whatever those are, it could be a fun end here. A fun end would naturally mean, can they possibly win a championship? I'm not really looking at that. I'm looking at more of the end being the beginning of something, and I think that it's been a while since we've seen that in LA. It wasn't in 2020. That was something that was supposed to happen because you just got AD in the last back-to-back championships. That was also something that was supposed to happen once Powell got traded there. The last time the Lakers had a young star and let's say another couple young guys or one other young guy, it was when Shaq and Kobe were coming up and they were building up they were seasoning up for what eventually happened, what eventually was coming. And it took a little bit longer than I think we all thought it would, but once it hit, it was a phenomenal run there for a three-peat. And that's what I'm feeling right now with Luka, and if Austin's likely going to be there, and then whatever the Lakers end up doing in the next summer and after and then the summer after that one, I feel that there's a positive progression here, and these games here that you see only will build that, and it'll continue to build. And then the team that's going to, and I say the team as in the executives, the team is going to make sure that they have all the resources to make sure that they fine tune this thing to the point where they'll know who to bring in, what's going to work, and then cross their fingers that everyone stays healthy. And let's see if the Lakers can go on a 5-6 year run here where they can win maybe 2 or 3 championships. That's how I'm looking at this, and I have full confidence, full support of Mark Walter and his new group. I think they've played a role, even as short as their ownership has been this year. I think there's a different feel of the personality of the team. You're seeing more of a winners type mentality now. It's starting to come together, and we're gonna continue to see this as those guys run this.
Before we get it over to John, you had a show last night on the Joe Soro experiment. Joe?
Yeah.
You had a show last night on, I was giving you serving it up to you so you can let them know what was on your show last night with the Joe Soro experiment.
Well, we talked about the WBC. For those of you who don't know, Venezuela beat Italy today, and we are going to see a final of Venezuela versus the United States for the WBC title. The only negative in this is I'm bothered by the fact that Miggy Rowe's not with Venezuela due to insurance reasons. So Miguel
You double
Rojas.
posted on your story, bro.
What was that?
You double posted on your story. Just want to let you know, brother, because I'm a good friend.
What do you mean double
that,
posted?
Like that Venezuela post or whatever you did, when you put it on your Instagram story, you accidentally put it twice. I don't know if you meant to do that.
I put what?
You put the Instagram story twice. Like you put it up twice.
He liked it so much he put it up twice.
Okay. If that's the case, then cool. I'm just letting him know as a good friend.
I put a Venezuela post twice?
Or whatever, but whatever you posted
You
on
posted the
Instagram.
same thing twice is what I think he's
It was like some meme. You like reposted something. Look, I'm gonna pull it up right here.
I'll have to go look at that. But the fact that Miguel Rojas is not on the Venezuela team due to some stupid technicality with insurance is stupid, because Miguel's going to retire at the end of the year, and he would have had a chance to possibly be a WBC champion and possibly three-peat with the Dodgers before he ends up being a coach with the Dodgers. I know it's not an American player, but we love Miggy Rowe here in Dodger Nation, and that's the only negative I have on it. Other than that, we're going to be cheering for the U.S. tomorrow to finish this off, and I believe they will. My other issue with the United States roster is I'm a little irritated that Scooble didn't stay, because if he had stayed, he'd be pitching tomorrow, and he'd probably close the sucker out. That pisses me off. They'll probably still win, but if Scooble was pitching tomorrow, it would all be likely done. And I can't stand this non-competitive mentality of Lane Kiffin type mentality in sports. A bunch of fucking non-competitive, greedy, stupidness. I don't know. I want to see the best play the best, and I want to see the people who deserve to see. And that's the thing. See, Scuba leaves early, and then Miggy can't play. That pisses me off. Now, I didn't talk about that on the show last night, but it's something that just kind of hit me today, seeing the results of what happened with Venezuela. Right? What's so funny?
You're just funny, Joe. I don't know. You're just funny. You remind me of like, I mean, you are a dad, but you remind me just like of a dad. You're like, I didn't say that on the show yesterday, but that shit just hit me today.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pissed off because I want the best playing the best, and I want those who, well, just again, that's the whole the point of the story is one guy wanted to play and would have been a tremendous asset for the team, but couldn't because of some technicality, and then the other guy who could have all but clinched this sucker if he had just stayed. Oh, he's got to stay for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I know the reason, but really, one more game you couldn't have waited. Is that one game really going to destroy your future? Like, that's the pussiness of today's player. And no pride in anything, just money, 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 money. And it makes me sick to my stomach. And of course, they're going to come back. Well, it's because it's not your arm, Joe. It's not. Fuck you. How about that? How about that?
No,
One game.
Okay.
One game is going to do that, really? Yeah. So that's my take on what I was talking about last night with a little bit of extraness, and then I'm gonna probably have more shows than the 2 week breaks that I usually have. I had done a second show after a few days, and I'd like to continue to do that if I have enough gaps in my schedule. So that's where I'm at on the experiment.
All right. And so with that, it is the Joe Soro experiment. He was very opinionated and all that stuff. You want to go ahead and hear it on the Joe Soro experiment on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube and other good things, John had a conversation in long form over the weekend, and he's also doing his 3-minute report right there at Lakers Corner, John.
yes. Thank you, Gerald, for the lob. Let me dunk you like Shaq. Check me out.
Joe hesitated. But
Check me out. Instagram, it's Lakers_corner. TikTok, it's Lakers Corner 24, and that's the same thing on Twitter. Check me out on YouTube, Lakers Corner. Do 3-minute game recaps, do weekly shows. I've had Gerald on, I've had Joe on. Great peoples, man. Great Lakers.
Well, I forget the guy's name that was on your
Shaheen.
Yes.
Yes. Great guy. Met him through Instagram. The guy has like
is this your benefactor?
What?
Is this
no. He's not. The guy I know, if you want to see him, his name's like the Laker banker. He's actually a banker. Like that's I don't know if I told you guys, but he's like a banker. That's like what he does. He like takes clients.
I'm sure he is.
Anyway, I have the dude in Shaheen. He has like 150K on Instagram. So great for
Wait, what does he have?
Bro, like 162,000 followers, bro. It's like something crazy. Like I'm gonna pull it up, tell you right now how much he has.
He's been banking it, all right.
Yeah, 162,000. On Instagram though, so like you can't always correlate that to like money, and I mean it could be
like in the millions.
It could be if he's doing it right, but anyway,
or if he's sponsoring products.
Yeah, and you know what? He's a cool guy. I feel like followers don't really matter. Are you a cool guy? And he is. So anyway, besides that, check me out, Lakers Corner, and yeah.
All right. So with that, it is of course a Lakers fast break. Don't forget also as well, we have a NCAA tournament challenge. So if you have got your bracket ready for March Madness, we've got a Lakers Fast Break podcast group right there on ESPN's Tournament Challenge. Free to sign up. Just go ahead, pick your teams, join the group, and there you go. Good luck. We actually had like 10 teams last year, 10 players last year. It actually was two of them, Zach and Stone, were in the top 100, I think, players worldwide of all the millions of players that were playing. They were in the top 100, I think. Down to the final weekend of March Madness. So yeah, if you go ahead, stop on by, see if you want to go ahead and get your picks in there. So we would love to see on that tournament challenge indeed. But Yes, there is a bracket challenge. I put it in the description. I posted it twice, Stefan, in the notes. I don't know how much more plain I can make it.
Damn it.
Damn it.
Damn
There
it.
you go. Damn it. There you go. Yes. Okay, it's like okay, the first time I posted it, then I thought, okay, maybe people are not seeing it, so I posted it again. And then I put it in the description, which actually nobody ever reads on YouTube anyway. So I don't know why it's a lost cause when you do that, John. But I put it there, all the legal stuff in there too as well. So again, cover my ass. But yeah, you never read the see, Stefan. Yeah, from a fellow podcaster, you never read the descriptions on a podcast descriptions.
I never read descriptions.
Yeah,
So
there you go. Absolutely. Just kidding. No worries.
great show.
A great show indeed. Do you sell LFB shirts? No, he doesn't. We're trying to still work on that. I know our Carino, we're trying to work it out. Joe, you're getting the feedback.
Am I what?
Feedback on that.
All right. Just because Joe doesn't like it, I'm gonna announce it. I'm about to go take a shit. So
What the fuck is wrong with you?
you guys have a great rest of your night.
All right. Hey, on that note, you know what? Everyone have a
I
great
hope the
rest of your
toilet
night.
water splashes in your ass.
And if it does, it might feel good, Joe.
Yeah,
It's a
we'll
bidet.
feel good.
What about the bidet?
Freaking fairy.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna see y'all.
All right. It is, of course, John Costa, Clutch Talk at Lakers Corner. It is Joe Soro Experiment. Yes, we're still trying to figure it out on how to start up the LFB store once again, Carino. So we'll get you covered on that. It is, of course, Joe Soro Experiment. Lakers win 192. Again, if you guys are interested, Tournament Challenge on ESPN. I've got a group there, Lakers Fast Break Podcast. I also had a great conversation with Caleb Ponce, our usual NBA observations. That's available now for members, available tomorrow for everyone else. And then, of course, also as well, I'm going to be running a contest courtesy of my man El Rosto and, of course, at Trip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter right here for this great skate deck indeed. So, again, for Joe Soro, it's Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate you joining us. We'll be back on Wednesday for the post game. Lakers and Rockets. Can they do it one more time? Can they get the season series on the Rockets, the Nuggets, and the Timberwolves? We'll find out, and we'll be back here to talk about it on Wednesday right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.